Off-road racing is also not without its lighter moments, and the law, according to Murphy, also strikes in areas like Boshoek. The Parker-Van Zyl combination were tootling along without a care in the world when they were a little over-ambitious in their choice of an alternative route.
Okay, let's make one disappear out the car. Out the car.
A little pressure from the rear soon put matters right. A turn at the key and Parker and Van Zyl were ready to rejoin the fray. A happy ending also saw them go on to win Class 7. On lap 3, Bux Carolyn and Kenny Skolthammer were still out in front, but behind them, Klaas Degener and Hilton Beattie had moved into second place. The pair were in hot pursuit of the leaders, with Degener pushing as hard as he could. The unfortunate Richard Schilling and Fred Levesque were slowed by punctures and had dropped back to third place. Greg Weevil and Warren Claassen were still going strong and worked their way into fourth place overall. There was also a good performance from Abdul Variwa and Hanif Hussain, who showed plenty of perseverance on the way to third in Class 2. Veteran Jack Spencer was also motoring steadily on his way to 6th overall and victory in Class 9. Stratford Voigt and Gillo de Greef completely dominated Class 4 in the Gillo Engineering Toyota Hilux and were the only finishers in the category. For Alfred van Vuuren and Piet Pelser, matters weren't going so well. They got themselves well and truly bogged down and in the process partially blocked the route. Leaders Bux Carolyn and Kenny Skolthammer were forced into bypassing the stricken Toyota. Richard Schilling and Fred Levesque, back in second place after Klaas Degener ran into mechanical problems, also had to take an alternative route. In the true spirit of an off-road race, Philip Milan and Richard Leek, although trying to make up lost ground, still found time to stop and help haul Van Vuuren and Pelser out of the mire. Bert Greef managed to avoid mud and other pitfalls on his way to victory in Class 10, with rally driver Glenn Gibbons picking up second place in Class 5 in his Toyota Hilux. Another off-road veteran, Linton Draper, showed a welcome return to form with second place in Class 6. In Class 5, it was the Bill Angus Derek Weatherall Toyota which pushed Glenn Gibbons back into second in the class. At the finish, the checkered flag was waiting for Bux Carolyn and Kenny Skolthammer, who also finally clinched the Special Vehicles title. Second place and second in the championship race went to Richard Schilling and Fred Levesque. A happy Carolyn nevertheless paid tribute to his friend and rival.
Well, it's a pity there's got to be a winner, because Richard's been not only is he a personal friend of mine, we beat him and we've had a good season between us, so we won the championship. It's fantastic for us, but I feel for him, he also deserved it. It's just one of those things. That's what racing's about.
I tried very hard. I had a puncture on the second and the third lap, which I reckon cost us probably 10-12 minutes. He won by 10. But no sour grapes, he deserves it.
There we have all the class winners in what was a fitting end to an interesting season. The bike brigade started out at the same time as the four-wheel competitors, but followed a different route. Poleman Jeremy Davies was soon forced to withdraw through injury, with fellow Springbok Alfie Cox everyone's favourite to win. Lesotho rider Patrick Andrews on the Winston Yamaha was also expected to be a frontrunner, along with Barger 1000 class winner Errol Dalton in the 500 class. Saki Niemann was on home territory with Uwe Trumper a long way from his Namibian stamping grounds. Gavin Nimmo set the second fastest time in the qualifying session, but ran into race day problems and gradually slipped down the field. There were no such problems for Winston Yamaha star Richard Manning, who was to find himself involved in an intriguing battle with John Hodgson in the 200 class. Kevin Tebbett was expected to give Errol Dalton a run for his money in the over 250 category, with conditions favouring the smaller capacity machines. John Hodgson on the Pelham Products KTM spent the entire event chasing after Richard Manning for top honours in the 200 class. Out in front, Alfie Cox, who spearheaded a Great Barger 1000 class win for South Africa along with Errol Dalton and Dirk Strydom, had taken a firm grip on proceedings. Saki Niemann was putting his local knowledge to good use and had moved up to second overall. Niemann needed all the help he could get because Richard Manning was riding superbly on the Winston Yamaha 200 and was pushing hard in third place. There was no time for Manning to relax either, because John Hodgson was hot on his heels in fourth place with the 200 machines coming into their own on a tight course. Kevin Tebbett and the other riders on the bigger machines were finding it a handful and were slowly slipping behind. Uwe Trumper was holding down a steady third place in the 250 class, with Errol Dalton leading the over 250 category and fifth overall. Teenager Alex Vowles, whose father was racing in the four-wheel category, was having an impressive outing, with Darrell Curtis eventually among the non-finishers. By lap 3, Alfie Cox virtually had the race and the 250 championship wrapped up. With Jeremy Davies out of the running, Cox was the class horse in the field. Saki Niemann was trying hard, but was always losing ground. A playful bovine showing an eye for a pretty lass put one spectator to flight, and there was nothing playful about Richard Manning. He still had his sights set on taking second place from Saki Niemann. In Manning's case, it was the ox who was put to flight. John Hodgson was still holding down fourth place, but could not make any impression on Manning. Behind the Flying Hodgson, the over 250 class was being led by Errol Dalton, who had shaken off the attentions of Kevin Tebbett. Dalton also put to flight any of the locals who looked likely to get in his way. Kevin Tebbett had dropped a couple of minutes on Dalton, but was still sixth overall and second in class. Behind him, Uwe Trumper was also going along steadily and was not about to let back markers hinder his progress. Young Vowles was also still going well in 8th place in an impressive performance. His dad had dropped out of the four-wheel race, but Alex Jr. was doing a good job of holding off the vastly more experienced Jason Andrieka. Veteran Peter Atkinson is proof that age and treachery often beat youth and enthusiasm. Atkinson was holding down third in the over 250 class with a cold beer at the end of the road, an incentive to get on with it. Over the last lap, Alfie Cox took it easy to score another impressive victory and make sure of the 250 championship. Second place went to Saki Niemann, who was around 8 minutes off the pace set by winner Cox. An impressive performance saw Richard Manning take the 200 class and third place overall. Manning was finally only 48 seconds behind Newman. John Hodgson in fourth spot was just another minute behind Manning. Errol Dalton was some 4 minutes behind Hodgson in fifth place, but took the over 250 class ahead of Kevin Tebbett by a handy margin. A steady run saw Uwe Trumper take 7th place overall and 3rd in the 250 class. In the ride of the day, young Val showed his potential by slipping into 8th overall and 3rd in the 200 class. Two more 200 machines came home in 9th and 10th places, giving them 5 spots in the top 10. 9th went to Jason Andrieka, with Gavin McLaughlin completing the top 10 ahead of the experienced Gavin Nimmo, Hilton Hayward and Peter Atkinson. For Alfie Cox, there have been tougher victories, but championship wins are ones to savour.
So I went hard for the first lap and nobody had passed me. I went hard on the second lap. Nobody still had passed me. I pulled a 6-minute lead and then I just cruised for the next 2 laps, just keeping my gap and keeping myself together. And I'm happy to have won the championship as well.
A great win for Alfie Cox, with spoils also for Richard Manning and Errol Dalton in a memorable finale to the South African off-road season.